There comes a moment in life when you realize nothing around you is going to change until something inside you changes. You can blame your past, your situation, your family, your luck, your country, your opportunities, but the truth is none of those things control your future the way your mind does. Your life follows your thinking. Every decision, every habit, every risk you take or avoid, it all begins in your mind. And if your thinking stays the same, your life will repeat itself again and again like a loop you can't escape. Some people spend years waiting for motivation. Others wait for the perfect time. Others wait for someone to believe in them. But the people who actually change their lives understand one thing: the shift starts in the way you see yourself and the way you see the world. If you don't change your thinking, your life won't change. And today I want to talk about 3 truths that can completely transform the direction of your life if you really understand them. There is a moment in every person's life when they start to believe that the world around them is the reason they are stuck. They look at their situation, their past, their mistakes, their lack of opportunities, and they decide that this is just how life is going to be. They tell themselves that some people are lucky, some people are talented, some people are born in the right place at the right time, and they are not. And once that belief settles in the mind, it becomes a prison you can't see, but you feel every single day. Because the truth most people never realize is that your life does not move in the direction of your wishes. It moves in the direction of your thinking. Your mindset shapes your reality, whether you realize it or not. 2 people can stand in the same storm and walk away with completely different lives. One person sees the storm as proof that life is against them. The other sees the storm as training, as preparation, as a test they are meant to pass. The situation is the same, but the meaning they give to it is different. And that meaning changes everything. When your mind believes that every obstacle is the end, you stop trying. When your mind believes every obstacle is part of the path, you keep moving. That is why mindset is not just positive thinking. It is the filter through which you see every opportunity, every failure, every risk, and every possibility. There was research done by psychologist Carol Dweck that showed the difference between people who believe their abilities are fixed and people who believe they can grow. The ones who believed they could grow were more willing to fail, more willing to learn, and more willing to try again after losing. And because they kept trying, they improved. Not because they were born better, but because they thought differently. When you believe you can get better, you act like someone who can get better. When you believe you can't, you act like someone who already lost. Your mind decides your actions long before your actions decide your results. Think about how many times people quit before anything changes. They go to the gym for 2 weeks and stop because they don't see results. They start learning a skill and stop because it feels hard. They chase a dream and give up because progress is slow. But what they don't realize is that the problem is not the effort. The problem is the mindset they bring to the effort. If you believe results should come fast, you will quit when they don't. If you believe results take time, you will keep going long enough to see them. The reality didn't change, the thinking did. And when the thinking changes, the outcome changes with it. There are people who grew up with nothing and built something. There are people who failed over and over and still found a way to win. Not because life was fair to them, but because they refused to let their situation decide their identity. They understood that the mind can either be your greatest weapon or your biggest limitation. If you wake up every day telling yourself that you are behind, that you are not good enough, that it's too late, your brain will start looking for proof that those thoughts are true. You will notice every failure, every rejection, every mistake, and ignore every opportunity. But if you wake up every day telling yourself that you can learn, that you can improve, that you can find a way, your brain starts searching for solutions instead of excuses. Your reality is not only what happens to you. Your reality is how you interpret what happens to you. The same rejection can break one person and build another. The same failure can destroy one person's confidence and create another person's determination. The difference is the story they tell themselves about what it means. And the story you repeat in your head becomes the life you live in the real world. Most people are waiting for their life to change before they change their thinking, but it never works like that. The thinking has to change first. You have to start seeing yourself as someone who can grow before you grow. You have to start believing your effort matters before the results show up. You have to act like your future can be different even when your present looks the same. Because the moment your mindset shifts, your decisions shift. When your Decisions shift, your habits shift. When your habits shift, your results shift. And when your results shift, your entire life starts moving in a new direction. Your mindset shapes your reality every single day, and every choice you make, and every risk you take, and every moment you decide to keep going instead of giving up. The world you live in tomorrow is being built by the way you think today. If you want a different life, you don't start by changing the world around you. You start by changing the way you see it, the way you talk to yourself, and the way you respond when life gets hard. Because once your mind changes, your reality has no choice but to follow. There's a quiet trap that almost everyone falls into, and it doesn't scream or shout. It doesn't hit you over the head. It whispers. It tells you, just stay where you are. It's fine. You'll do it tomorrow. You're not ready yet. That trap is comfort thinking, and it is one of the most dangerous enemies of growth and success. Comfort thinking is subtle, but it controls more lives than failure ever could. Because failure at least teaches you something. Comfort teaches you nothing except how to stay small. Most people fail not because they lack talent, not because they lack ideas, but because they think in ways that keep them safe. They chase comfort instead of courage. Comfort feels logical, it feels reasonable, it feels safe. It convinces you that waiting is better than trying, that fear is a sign to stop instead of a signal to grow. And while you are waiting, life is passing by. Opportunities slip through your fingers because you are busy convincing yourself that the timing isn't perfect, that the circumstances aren't ideal, that someone else should first give you permission to move. Think about people who changed their lives later than anyone expected. People who started businesses in their 40s, learned new skills in their 50s, or transformed themselves physically, mentally, and emotionally long after most people gave up. They didn't wait for perfect conditions, they die. Sit and analyze until the fear went away. They acted despite discomfort. They chose the hard path, the uncertain path, and in doing so, they forced growth. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Growth happens in discomfort. Growth happens when you push past the voice inside your head telling you, just wait. Comfort thinking comes in many forms. I'll start tomorrow is the most common. I'm not ready yet is another. What if I fail? Whispers in your ear when you're about to take a risk. All of these thoughts sound harmless, but they quietly steal your life, one delayed decision at a time. Every time you say yes to comfort, you are saying no to your potential. Every time you choose safety over action, you are shrinking the size of your future. Look at your heroes, the people you admire most. Almost every single one of them reached their level of success because they refused to let comfort dictate their choices. They didn't wait to feel ready. They didn't wait for perfect timing. They embraced uncertainty. They embraced the fear, and they embraced discomfort because they understood that it was the only way to grow. And growth is not optional if you want a life that feels alive. Instead of just, okay, your comfort zone feels safe, but it's a cage disguised as a mattress. You might be physically comfortable, financially comfortable, emotionally comfortable, but the moment you stop challenging yourself, your life stops expanding. The opportunities you could have had, the people you could have met, the skills you could have mastered, all of that remains untapped because comfort convinces you that it's better to be safe than to be great. And the tragedy is, the world doesn't reward comfort. The world rewards courage, action, and persistence. The world rewards those who step forward when everyone else is waiting. If you want to break free, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to choose action over hesitation. You have to embrace the awkward, the risky, the uncertain moments that your comfort zone wants you to avoid. The first steps are never easy. The first days are never smooth, but the first steps are always the ones that lead to transformation. Because discomfort is a sign that you are stretching, that you are learning, that you are becoming more than you were yesterday. And the person you are becoming is the only person who can create the life you've been dreaming about. Comfort thinking keeps you stuck. It whispers that you should wait, that you should settle, that it's fine to stay the same, but life doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. Dreams don't wait. The only thing that waits is regret. If you want to grow, if you want to change, if you want a life that excites you instead of numbs you, you have to act when it's uncomfortable, you have to push when it's hard, and you have to choose courage over comfort every single day. And the moment you do, the cage of comfort breaks and a new life begins. Most people spend their lives waiting for the world to recognize their value. They want validation from others before they step fully into who they are. They want someone else to see their potential before they start acting on it. And While they wait, life moves on without them. The truth is, the world will never see you differently until you see yourself differently. Recognition, opportunity, and respect are reflections of how you see yourself first. Your inner belief sets the stage for every interaction, every decision, every opportunity that comes your way. For years, you may have told yourself a story about who you are. Maybe you've said, I'm not confident enough, or I always fail, or I'm just not the kind of person who can succeed. And the more you repeat those stories, the more your mind starts to believe them. They become habits of thought. They become limits you carry around like invisible chains. But the truth is, your identity is not fixed. Your identity is built every day by the choices you make and the thoughts you feed yourself. You are not stuck with the story you've been telling. You can rewrite it. Think about someone who decided to transform their life physically. The first day at the gym, nothing changes. The first week, nothing changes. And yet every time they show up, they are telling themselves a new story. I am the kind of person who doesn't quit. I am someone who takes action. I am someone capable of change. That belief begins to shift the way they move, the way they eat, the way they think. And over time, the world sees the difference too. The transformation wasn't just in their body, it started in their mind. It started in the story they told themselves about who they were. The same principle applies to every area of life. If you want people to respect you, start by respecting yourself. If you want to be taken seriously, start by taking yourself seriously. If you want to lead, start by seeing yourself as a leader. Because people don't follow someone who doesn't follow themselves first. Opportunities will only show up when you carry the confidence, the identity, and the mindset that deserve them. The world mirrors what you believe about yourself. The people who achieve greatness understand this. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for someone else to notice. They step into the person they need to become first. They act in alignment with the vision of themselves that hasn't yet been recognized by others. And when they do, the world eventually catches up. Doors open, opportunities appear, and people begin to treat them differently, not because the world changed, but because they changed how they see themselves and how they show up every day. If you want your life to change, the first step is internal. See yourself differently before anyone else does. Believe in your worth, embrace your potential, and start acting in ways that reflect the person you are capable of becoming. Once you do, everything else will follow. The world cannot give you what you refuse to give yourself. The moment you step fully into who you are, the world will have no choice but to see it too. Remember this, change begins in your mind. See yourself differently, act differently, and your life will follow. The world reflects what you believe about yourself, so start believing today.